Una mattina mi sono svegliato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono svegliato e ho trovato l'invasor.
Fucking it.
I
Paddy!
haven't worked out one time.
What's
up,
going on,
dog?
bro?
Not much, man. Congratulations on the fucking kid. I
Thank you,
literally
my
just
brother.
heard. That's so good.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man. Thank you.
Yo,
You know
he's
what
a
I mean?
cute little guy, man. This is gonna be a
Listen,
lady killer.
bro, at the end of the world, though, that's really what the problem is. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
I'm out
he'll make it, man. He's
here
good.
bringing in kids in the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different situation, you know?
Absolutely. You got a lot of bonding time with him, at least.
Yeah.
Before the end comes in, you know what I mean? Are we recording or not? We do.
I just hit record immediately. I started recording on both the Zoom app and OBS just to be sure because I have no idea.
Perfect.
Danny did the same thing yesterday, and he recorded it from his end, and he only had literally it's just the only thing that matters is can your internet last the entire time during the podcast, because he's sort of timed out a couple of seconds, and it
His
fucks up
internet
everybody
can
else.
last. What was he using? Like what? Like when
I'm on that
Well,
5G.
on that broadband, you know. He's on that dial-in, you know.
I'm on
America
5G.
Online.
Yeah.
That's
You're on
good.
5G, eh, Johnny?
Like crazy.
Johnny, you're on 5G. You're part of the problem. Those
Welcome,
5G
everyone.
towers killing everybody.
I guess we might as well start there.
Yeah,
with,
Let's get it, baby. Let's go.
This whole 5G situation going on. Like, people are sending me I'm like, honestly though, like I know Paddy's gonna jump in right now and be like, this is gonna agree with me on this. I don't know. To me, like, it doesn't make sense, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm like, okay, so there is 148 countries that are dealing with this, give or take, and there is like 3 of them that have 5G towers. How do you explain the discrepancy there? It's just
No.
You know some fucked up shit, guys? My buddy works for Rogers. High up, very high up.
Oh yeah, what did he tell you?
So today I was like, yo, what's up with the 5G shit? Y'all killing people, eh? I was just talking shit to him.
Yeah.
And he goes, bro, 5G is just the wave that we're in now. Once 6G comes around,
Oh
look
my
the fuck
God.
out. That was just like, he was like,
Same
dude,
conspiracy
people are
theories about
scared.
3G
Nothing worse than
and 4G.
6Gs pulling up. No.
Yeah.
that's-
The guy, he told me, he's like, yo, there's like, people are actually fucking scared of this like new wave because it is radiation. It's
But
radiation.
it's not ionized radiation. There's a big difference between the two. That's where I think
You
people
want to
fall
explain
apart.
that maybe? So like,
Yeah,
for
we
people
need to
who are
know the
listening.
facts.
Also, this is the first time that people are seeing Pat for.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
Our racist.
Yeah, they exposed their
Our
communist
racist.
daughter,
Oh,
eh?
yeah, we cannot expose a communist daughter. Hide your face.
Oh,
Patricia.
no.
Episode number 8, we just exposed him immediately.
That's
I
it.
know.
So the
Going
quarantine is done.
downhill from here, boys.
The fucking Rona, how to bring out the communist daughter. If this is not gonna fix the problem, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yo,
of, what are you guys' thoughts on Bernie Sanders just dropped out? That's pretty breaking news.
What's
Yeah.
the point? He may as well have won the election.
Yeah, bro, he's too fucking old to be going around and fucking campaigning, man.
I'm
He's gonna catch the
They
road.
all are. They all are.
I'm surprised the Rona hasn't gotten him, really. Like, I thought he would be the
Yeah.
first one to go with all these pre-existing conditions that this motherfucker has. I
Yeah,
thought this
exactly.
it was a question of time. You know what I mean? I'm like, how hasn't the Rona gotten him already? But like,
How hasn't everything else? There's so
That
many
is
other
true.
things that could
That
have
is
killed
true.
him. You know what I mean? Like
I feel
Bears.
like people worry when he gets the hiccups. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, Senator
Us.
Sanders has the hiccups.
our great
You know
leader.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's I don't know, man. But like him dropping out, I mean, it was a matter of time. Honestly, like Trump is gonna win again. This is a fact. Like, I don't even think anybody's doubting this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, what do you think?
What
Pat? do you
was
think? I see-
Biden's last speech? The
Oh yeah, that was brutal. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
brutal.
God.
Oh, someone posted on Facebook, but it was like,
Mhm.
hey, we got an economy, you know, and in previous times we would have dealt with both situations, you know, 16, 14. We prioritize. We can multitask. It's just gibberish. Nothing.
what was it about? I'm gonna try to find it. Joe Biden quote.
He's
He was
basically
making no sense.
Yeah, it's literally like going off of the Trump thing about not making the cure worse than the disease. And Biden's is trying to basically, and this is what I'm in like interpreting a senile old man, is he's trying to say we could do both things at the same time in previous administrations. But what he's confusing is he's trying to go like back when I was a senator in the 80s, and then also vice president more recently. And he's just blending all of his experiences together. So he's like, he can't think of like the one specific situation, be like, this is how we did two things at once. So he's just thinking of like, I've been around forever.
Right. I don't know though, but like that. What do you guys think about that argument that Trump is making, that the cure cannot be worse than the condition? To a certain extent, it is too late, but to a certain, but at what point? So what? We do not stop the bleeding? Like we just let this whole thing unfold until like the fucking.
That's the big argument. I mean? It's like.
So to chime in on that, did you guys see that leaked guy that was talking? He was part of like a pandemic team that Obama put together that Trump dismantled, and he had a manual that they made like 4 or 5 years ago for exactly the same fucking situation. Did you guys see that shit?
No. See, the crazy shit about this thing, right? Like, there is a lot of things that are coming out that is showing you that there is a lot more here that is hidden than what we're seeing. For example, this whole story with what is it called? Hydrochloroquine or whatever, like the malaria medication there. If you look at how the media is jumping on this, talking about like, oh, you know, this is a drug that was not tested. Listen, man, like that compound, the compound of that drug has been on the market for 65 years. We know, people are very well aware of what the side effects are. But I have a feeling that the way that the media is spinning this, I feel like there are people who it's in their advantage to make sure that hydrochloroquine. Yeah, hydrochloroquine is not shown as a medication that could cure coronavirus, because they are in the midst of making their own. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, you know, the same people that own these fucking TV stations are the same ones that got shares in this pharmaceutical company.
I think you're making it more complicated than necessary. It's literally ABC. Trump says good. Media doesn't like Trump, therefore it's bad. That's literally as far as they're going with it. If he had never brought it up, I'm telling you, they would have been like, well, you know, you got Australia and China and France having great success with hydroxychloroquine, and I think it's good that the FDA is getting out of the way. It's literally Trump.
The woman wasn't even a Trump supporter, though, either. That was the biggest thing, too, that they just totally left out of it.
Oh, no, that was a murder. That was literally a murder.
She was a Democrat. She supported, what party did she donate to? She's donated to basically every sort of far-left
No, but see, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's not just American media. Like this whole idea of using hydroxychloroquine was brought up in France by a doctor over there named Didier Raoult. And this guy is the one that tested it on a couple patients. It was like a closed circuit kind of
They've used it everywhere. They've used it everywhere. But there's trials of everything.
Yeah. But these people, the people that he tried the medication on that had the coronavirus actually started getting better. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing. French media is doing the same exact thing, kind of talking shit about the drug, saying that, oh, you know, it was not tested in a way that is, you know, according to, you know, the regular forms of the science that we go about. But like, to me, the way I look at it, man, like, listen, we're calling this a time of war. You know what I mean? There is no time to go based on the regular standard. Of course, yes, keep doing the tests and keep doing the whatever. But this compound has been known for a while. Start giving it to people. To see at least if it works, because what's the worst that can happen here? You know what I mean?
They're giving it to people in the States. Like, there's trials of it in Seattle and New York and all over the place. Yeah. This is literally like, this is a inside the media bubble kind of thing of the people who they don't like said it's good. And so now they know they have to take the opposing view to it. It's literally
but who's winning though? Because look, like, you know, why would Chris Cuomo, who has, by the way, I don't know, I was gonna ask Pat how he felt about finding out that Chris Cuomo has the coronavirus. I feel like a little part of you rejoiced a little bit.
I don't know.
I'm happy that fucking Netanyahu has the fucking virus. That's what I'm fucking happy about.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that guy, bro. Free Palestine, baby.
Much more happy about that. Yeah, Cuomo is like a small fish, but I think a lot of this is people like don't realize as well.
I'm saying, like, as what's quote unquote a liberal hack, like, as the way you like to refer to them as, you know what I mean? Finding out that one of them got finally what he deserved. I'm assuming that there was a slight bit of rejoice. I mean, you didn't break out the vodka, but you had at least a piece of the puffer fish.
Yeah, for sure.
You know
I
what
mean,
I'm
like,
saying?
I don't like him, but he is like more like the only reason I don't like him now is literally the media are trying to portray him as like what's really happening is like so many different things at once. So it's like one issue is you have a Chinese communist fucking biological weapon that gets out. But you also have in this.
Is that what you think it is? That's what you think coronavirus is?
That is exactly what it is.
That is a huge allegation here.
But there's another circle going on of the U.S. election, and they understand that Biden is senile and just like he's useless. So they need to get him out now. And that's why they are manufacturing popularity for people like Cuomo because they think they could sub him in that easily.
No. You're talking about Governor Cuomo. I'm talking about Chris Cuomo. Like
Chris his brother.
Yeah, I was talking about Chris Cuomo. That's what
the other
saying,
Cuomo that we gotta talk about too.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Chris Cuomo.
Now, anybody who works for CNN deserves to die.
Did you see?
That's what I was saying. I was like, this guy must have celebrated a little bit when he found out that.
The spat between the two brothers on live news.
Oh yeah, that shit is adorable. That shit is adorable. Like, come on, man, dude, you're running the country. Are you joking with your brother? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
bro.
Dudes were a phone call after the news,
yeah, exactly. Like this is like you're the governor of the
guys.
state.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit will go on for like 25 minutes too. Like this back and forth that they have going on.
Petty dumb guineas.
But their dad was how long was their dad governor of? How long was that governor of New York?
One of the longest serving governors besides like LaGuardia. So I think it would have been like 12 or 15 odd years. Like it was from a time where he became the governor, didn't become the governor for like 4 years and then came back and did it again for a longer stretch. So their family is like that in New York. They're a part of the system 100%.
But guys, let's take a look at like the reality what's actually happening right now, right? This is an economical reset, right? Don't put that past anybody. This is an economical reset. So if you get your shit together, you come out of this on top, man. That's what you got to do, right? Like, a lot of people don't understand that, but like, bro, you got to make money right now. This is where it's at. You got to make cash.
Yeah,
you got to collect CERB. If
by the way, did you guys get your serve?
I got my serve, bro. I got my serve. I got my serve.
How much you get?
I'm not taking that government
I applied
money.
for EI 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then I woke up yesterday with money in my bank account.
Oh shit!
You know what I'm saying?
Did they give you the full 2 Gs or was it something?
Give me 2 Gs, bro. They gave me 2 Gs.
Damn.
Some people got 4 Gs. Did you hear about that? Some people got 4 Gs. Double pay.
They did. Some people did they had back paid.
Yeah, they
I think a lot of people as well.
But,
backdated
like,
people that maybe had gotten laid off, so they got EI and then they got transferred to CERB.
Oh,
right
wow.
This is a great fucking time to come out on top, man. I'm telling you, if you could fucking manage a way to make money, and like if the banks are giving you breaks, take all the breaks you can get, make all the cash you can make. Yeah. Because that's where it's at right now.
I didn't pay taxes last year, so there is no serve for me on this motherfucker out here, nigga. You know what I mean?
No, bro, apply, bro. It's for everybody. Apply.
Bro, no. There is a lot, because I'm self-employed and stuff like that. So
I know drug dealers that are getting served. What do you mean?
You're not drug dealers getting served?
What are you talking about, bro?
They're gonna get served once this is all over.
They will get served eventually, but like, do you think,
bro?
That
money is not free.
I'll take the money and deal with it later. I don't give a fuck.
I do wanna like side note and address the winner of 2020, Tory Lanez. Won 2020, man. Tory Lanez won 20. If you guys don't know what Tory Lanez is doing right now, Tory Lanez has the hottest Instagram live in the world. Instagram quarantine radio. Quarantine. And this guy got blocked. Okay, because he had some girl like deep throating a 12-inch dildo on his fucking Instagram. Got blocked.
Listen. This bitch
he was banned for 7 days. He came back up today. He fucking contacted Instagram, sorted it out, and they put him back on. Never ever been done in the history of the world. The winner in 2020 is Toronto.
What doesn't Instagram do like Twitter? Like you on Twitter, like there was like bitches.
Bro, this guy was banned, so Instagram blocked him. Right. Done. He's blocked. His account's down. He put up another account. Quarantine Radio, got about 300,000 followers. They blocked that account too. And then he contacted somebody at Instagram, got him back up. and he went live again
Obviously, though,
today.
the guy was getting like
What?
like 250,000 people in his live or something or 30,000 people.
350,000.
That's
He
not.
had Drake on there.
Yo,
Like, bro,
speaking of
quarantine.
speaking of Instagram Live, have you guys done any of these like Instagram Live like stand
I did
up
a show
sets?
yesterday. I did a show yesterday, Robbie. I headlined my first show last night.
Oh wow, you headlined your first show.
Did 35 minutes. I did 35 minutes for no laughs.
For no laughs.
35 minutes, but yo, you know what it is?
Mm.
Dobsky got me on. It's Kelly's Green Lounge out in Orono.
Oh yeah. How many people were in the live?
Like seven people.
Bro, I did that shit once. It was what's his name? Whose buddy with?
I seen it. I watched it. It was the quarantine comedy.
Yeah, quarantine comedy club. I don't know, dog. Like, honestly, I took a shower right after. I felt dirty.
It's weird. It's weird, but yo, the way I looked at it is like the reactions, because I was getting the reactions. Like whenever I would drop the punchline, I would see the laughing reactions coming up, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they're laughing, right? You got to go in expecting the worst, man. You got to go.
Like, it wasn't expecting the worst. Like,
no, guys. I think honestly, you should just be like full-hearted putting your efforts into just online shit. Like 35 minutes, you could have done a 35-minute solo podcast called the Fadi Nassar podcast.
I've done that before. I went live.
Yeah.
I went live on Instagram before, man, and like
it's so much more valuable than that.
Have you,
whatever
Johnny,
that
have you seen those story time videos I've been doing, like for the
the Corona Chronicles?
Corona Chronicles.
I'm watching those too.
Bro, I got like when you come back.
Like Fadi, you should be doing like at-home workouts where you're like puffing on a joint and like doing a push-up or something.
Buddy,
you know what I mean? Like do whatever you want.
Fucking weeks. Like, buddy, I just been drinking, man. That's all I've been doing.
He's a chunky monkey.
No, I've been doing is drinking. I start work on Saturday. I'm doing landscaping, man. I'm gonna be in shape, no problem.
Oh,
all right,
shit,
it'll be fine.
Yeah, man. I'm getting
back
cash
at it, huh?
money, baby.
Essential worker, the rich have got to get their pools installed this summer.
If they pull that, I'm fucked. That is my only plan right now. Is that job? If that
you just got your serve though, fam. You blessed. What do you mean, guy? Like,
my serve doesn't cover anything. It doesn't cover shit. Okay. It doesn't
kick you out of serve if you make money.
Bro, I fucking got my car payments fucking postponed. So I did the deferral, 90-day deferral for my car payments. I canceled my insurance policy. Okay.
You canceled your insurance? How the fuck? That's a terrible idea. How you gonna get back on? Are they gonna put you back on like after?
You not know.
You not know. They be like, so we know you got that serve.
Watch
Get
this
back
third.
on right
Watch what they did with the Canadian government. Imagine they like tricked everyone, and like Serb was actually code for like, oh, we sold you to the Serbians, so now you're all Serbian.
Anybody who got Serb, we need you to
be
Serbian.
That's a Serb with an S.
Yeah.
Yo, Fadi does kind of look Serbian though a little bit. No wonder he got his Serb ahead of the rest.
Oh man, I could pass for anything, bro. I could pass for anything.
You look super Serbian.
I'm a man of multiple talents.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
let's talk about some positive shit, man. Yo, Robbie, man, how does it feel to be a dad? Talk to me, bro.
Bruh, it's amazing, man. It's interesting. Like I don't know. Like, see, like when you first tell people they're gonna have a kid, right? Like everybody looks at you, like it's like, oh my God, everybody's trying to give you advice, right? Like, oh, bro, let me tell you, bro, like you'll never know what it's like, bro. Like your life is gonna change. Like when the baby came out, I was expecting to become Black Lightning. Like that was my next move. I was like, yo, with everything these niggas have told me, but then I realized everybody who told me that went to the store back in the 70s and had seen their kids for 22 years. I'm like,
just don't go for smokes and never come back.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Like it's it's like I feel like my levels of motivation are so much higher. You know what I mean? Like I used to have to like drag myself out of bed and shit. Like I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Now, bro, I just fucking hop out, man. Like I'm still out here, man. I'm grinding my ass off, man.
Are you sleeping good?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's mostly my lady that kind of like, you know what I mean? Like
that's the number one thing they say, though. It's like literally, it's just you don't.
Yeah. Like I watch my girl, dog. It's fucking like, man. I always used to laugh when women were like, you know what, being a mother is the hardest job in the world. I was like, that job can be done by a DVD player. But now, dog, like, you know what I mean? When I see that girl,
what I do affects the rest of the social interactions.
I swear to God,
Now you know.
I know, bro. Now I know.
Fucking
oh
guy.
my
I'll
God.
be back. I'm gonna get a drink. Give me 1 second.
Oh my God. I was like, holy shit, but this shit is not it's terrifying, man. Every 2 hours. Like she hasn't slept for more than 2 hours in a row in like since the baby came. And that shit will fuck with you, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like you never rested. Like you're always on this like
it's almost lucky that like she probably can't go to work now or have to think about anything else. Like that's probably does make a difference of
that's the thing, man. There's a lot of good that's happening right now. Like if you just focus on the bad, you're gonna see the bad. But like, yo, I'm gonna get out of this on top. I'm gonna get out of this a lot better than I came into it, man.
Dude, this has like been the best thing. I hate being one of those people that says that, but this has been the best thing ever. Forever, I was like, should I quit my other job? And it's like, now you have no choice. It's gone.
Yeah,
it's like, it doesn't exist anymore.
I've
like,
hated
okay,
my
well,
job
that made that easy.
for years. I've hated my job. And
now it's like, it doesn't exist.
Now you have a new appreciation for it.
But now I have so much respect for Good Life, man. Bro, Good Life laid us off on the 17th. Okay? They're paying us until the end of April.
Wow.
They're giving us our full bonus.
So you're making money and you got your serve and everything.
And he's still landscaping. This guy just doesn't stop.
I've made $4,000 in the past 3 days.
God damn.
Sitting here profusely jerking off.
Wow.
Did you start at OnlyFans? Is that what happened?
Yo, he's done OnlyFans.
No, I did it, bro. I did it.
He's doing quarantine comedy shows. Bro, this is the busiest man in bed.
But no, man, I got so much.
The busiest man in bed.
I did not expect for them. They fucking came through clutch.
Nah, that's
I still got another paycheck coming in next week. Full bonus potential. That's great.
Patty,
they're paying me the maximum amount that I could have made. They're paying me.
Yeah,
wow. They don't have to do that.
They won't get a bailout.
Yeah, no, they don't have to do that because they could have just paid you my salary, Patty. I just said, this is your salary. Your bonus is based on what the club made. The club is not making any money. You're not getting any money. That's legal.
Right,
they can do that.
The bonus part is extra for sure.
So why did they give you the bonus, though?
They want to
because
it's a
they're
cult,
good people,
man. They want to hook you in.
And what is it based on? If there is no production,
so the bonus is based on how much the club earns. Okay,
regularly.
So the club normally earns about $250,000 a month.
Yeah,
the club would fucking earn.
Yeah,
$250,000 a month.
Damn.
So the bonus is 1% of that, right?
Yeah.
But normally we have been missing for months. So normally I make like $200K, 210, 220.
So you're missing goal like on a regular basis.
So they're gonna give me, $2,500 based on the club's actual projected income.
Should have set your goals
higher,
higher,
bro, why get out of bed, bro? Like, this is the best you've done so far. No wonder niggas are getting fat. They're like, I don't need to work out. Now, baby, I'm rich.
Nah, man, I can't.
Daddy, that's the name of your special now, is the busiest man in bed.
The money,
you know what I mean?
Once I figure out the money, man, like, I'm coming out, it's on top. I'm not fucking around. I'm going to make $1,000 a week.
Yeah, bro, you got out of lockout to get back into lockdown.
Yeah, man, because once I get out of this, I'm gonna be out of debt. I'm gonna get out on top. Fuck it. I'm not gonna let this is if this is a conspiracy or not, guys. They're planning for people to fucking fail.
You never let a good pandemic go to waste.
Those are always my words. You never let a good pandemic
once in a lifetime. I'm saying, you know what's gonna happen? The housing market's gonna take a hit soon.
Yeah.
Soon time. Housing is coming next.
Millennials can actually afford homes
now. If you have credit, right? If you have decent enough credit right now,
my bankruptcy comes off next month. My bankruptcy I filed 7 years ago comes off next month. I am in a prime position, so I'm gonna fucking take this fucking little gardening shit, and I'm gonna make money. And I'm gonna kill it, bro. I'm not playing it. I'm gonna go door to door. I'm literally gonna go door to door. I have my contracts. Then I'm gonna go door to door to all their neighbors and try to sell those motherfuckers too. I don't care.
Wait, so you're gonna be So first of all, like, are you gonna be selling the landscaping? Or are you gonna be doing the landscaping?
Both.
Oh, you're doing both the selling.
So I have contracts, that I've already seen. Like the company already secured them. I'm just literally going in and doing the jobs. Okay?
Honestly, though, I'm not gonna lie to you guys though. On the business aspect, man, what a time to be alive. I hooked up with this company that sells HEPA filters. And
what is it?
White people HEPA filters. So there are these air cleaners. I'm just calling people, being like, listen, brother, your kid's gonna die. We need to put one of these in here before shit gets out of hand. You understand?
You're panic selling.
No payment for
You're
6
panic
months.
selling.
Oh my God, I'm
totally
panic selling
are.
like a motherfucker.
You're
What
a panic
time to be
pirate.
alive. Listen, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. If this shit went on for about another 2 months, dog, oh shit. Listen, I'm
I might
buying
buy
a
a
couple
boat.
rental properties. I'm getting a couple rental properties for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what a time to be alive. And white people are signing up for it. Like, oh my God, like, so you're telling me that these particles stay in the air in my home for a long time? Like, yes, bitch, all this time that you're talking, your kids are dying. I'm sending a
Imagine you
petition right
responded
now.
like that. Yes,
Oh my
bitch.
God, bro. Doc, what do you mean? Like, you know, we have these Facebook ads that are going out. We're like, listen, you want to fight the coronavirus inside your home? You're staying at home all day long. You know what I mean? Like, you have an airborne
It's a good sell.
You got to make sure
sell.
the air in your home is clean. Call Roby Hollywood, a brand name like Hup.
Yeah, no, man. I'm telling you, bro, make your money now and stack it.
You
and
must.
take all the breaks that
How
you
are
can
we
get.
sure that they're
If
going to
the
keep
bank
money
is giving you a
around?
break, that's the question.
You
That's
might be
the
stacking
question.
a thing that won't even need to exist anymore.
It's not going to be worth shit.
It's not going to be worth anything.
And this panic buying lasts
Paper it's
another
printed
2
on.
months top.
Hey,
Yeah.
if that's the case, then buy gold.
It's all hype. Man, yeah,
Call
that's
Kalani and buy gold.
sustainable. That's the only sustainable
Like,
thing
what,
right
what
now.
do you
Oliver the jeweler, buy some. That guy's gonna make it. That guy's been buying gold since 2010.
Who is?
Oliver the jeweler.
Oliver the jeweler.
That guy's gonna be the president
He's the
of
first
this
guy
half of the earth.
if this shit pops off sideways, he's the first guy getting robbed. That's a fact. I know where all his shops are at. I have the maps. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody's robbing anything,
Fatty,
buddy.
bring the guns. You know what I mean? We're gonna call. Who's the other one?
Harold.
Harold. We're gonna be
So
like, yo, Harold.
speaking of
Yeah.
that, this is what's going on in the hood. Like, this is the chat in the hood right now. People,
is that what you heard from bed, nigga? You haven't...
buddy, people are taking their CERB money, okay, pulling it together, and buying guns.
Oh my!
That is what is happening right now. This is a real thing that's happening in the city.
People are pulling their serve together to buy guns.
Guns, bro.
Fucking niggas. They should have never
overthrow the government.
This is
that gave
a problem.
Bro,
they should have never given.
Getting wild, man.
Bro, this shit is out of hand. What do you like that? That should make like so what? So what are they gonna do? Like what? Like they thinking about like what? Like running down like the Central Bank of Canada? Like what's the play here?
Toilet paper instead of guns.
Yeah.
I mean,
because bro, at the end of the day, like the one with the gun is gonna win the fucking fight.
What is the fight? Like what are we?
I don't know what the fight is, Robbie. Nobody knows what the fight is right now.
Everyone's gonna be really poor, and poor people commit more crimes. Yeah, that's all that everybody's getting ready for. Is
right now it's cybercrime season too.
Oh man,
cybercrime.
I'm not.
It's never been more lucrative for like people just ripping people off on the internet because there's never been more people stuck at home.
I knew this when I was looking for jobs, and like they were all like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna hire you. Just send me your SIN number and your ID and your fucking void check, and we're gonna fucking hire you, buddy. We're gonna give you money."
Like, $38 an hour. Like, what is the position? You can be a receptionist. You can be the CFO. You can be the
this is the best one.
What company is this, Delta?
So I applied for this company, and the guy's like, "Yeah, so your job is to pick up cash and drop it off. That's it. We're a private lender. Okay, we're gonna fucking you pick up the money, you drop it off." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, man." So he's like, "Yeah, so send me your SIN number and your void check, and we're gonna send you the money to go give to these guys." And I was like, "Bro, this is the fucking fraud, the shittiest fraud I've ever seen in my fucking life."
Did you get like a random text from someone saying that like, "Hey, we're offering jobs to people to drive around cash for like Indian and Asian business"? I got that text too.
Yeah, I got that text too.
Paddy, are you still working? Are you still on the gig, right? You still on the job, right?
Yeah, more than ever. Yeah, of course. I'm fucking news media, baby. I'm an essential employee.
So how does it work? Is your studio still like? Is everybody still showing up? Like, how are you guys doing the whole social distancing bullshit?
No, all the hosts like connect remotely from home. The operators that's what my job is. We're the only ones who go in. The producers just sort of like talk to the hosts on the phone. Like everyone stays home except for us.
So except you guys. So how many of you guys are in the studio like on average? Like on a
literally one at a time.
Wow.
Yeah, for like a 7.5 hour shift kind of thing. And then like we wipe everything down.
Wow.
And the other guy just like waits on the outside of the office, and then I just like wave and walk out.
Like a casual Hi Hitler. There you go. Misinformation is in your hands now.
Exactly, yeah.
That's intense, man. Like Yo, did you guys hear the I was talking about it on the Corona Chronicles the other day. Like the government has a snitch line where you can call in to report people.
Yeah, I'm calling those lines. I'm snitching on everybody, Robbie. I'm snitching on everybody. Let me tell you something. If you're having a gathering with more than 5 people, I'm ratting on you. All right, bro. Get your ass inside like a responsible adult. I'm trying to go back to work.
You don't think we're blowing this a little out of proportion?
Yeah, bro, Fatty's a regular old fucking Karen now.
I'm trying to go back to work.
You remember years ago when Jordan Peterson had that big conflict outside of U of T, and he kept saying, you know, if you keep calling everybody a Nazi, you're not going to know Nazis when they show up. Right. And then he used the example of in Germany when Hitler was ruling, it was regular people that he got to come over to his side and just, you know, kind of take over the town. Well, isn't that a little bit like there's fear mongering that puts everybody in place, and now people are nannying other people.
Bro, this is
hard for the government.
You don't have to worry about Big Brother. It's Little Sister. It's all
everybody. It's Little Sister.
This shit is entertaining to me.
How are you gonna say that, bro? I went to the store today. And this guy tried to sell me a bottle of Lysol for $19. That's not fucking right.
Because they're not engaged.
You know what price gouging laws do? They guarantee shortages.
Yeah.
Like literally the only reason there will be a actual problem with people running out.
The man has a whole stock in the back. I could see the boxes back there.
Supply, demand.
But see, Johnny,
I'm not paying no $19 for no Lysol, bro. I'll tell you that.
Until you have to. You know what I mean?
Get my CERB money and buy me a thing, you know?
Yeah, it looks like $2,000 burgers.
Very well get you served by a gun and just rob the guy with the Lysol.
Canada recorded
them cleaning products.
This ain't Canada. Canada recorded 14,074 cases today. 1474.
And how many of those people are going to die?
Yeah, I was like, is that just testing? Is that just people that got tested?
But just to say this now, it's not even a joke no more, because I actually know of 2 people
that died.
One of them is dead, and one of them right now is about
like somebody that you know personally. And what kind of underlying? Because see, to me, like here's the problem that I'm having. Like when I look at all these numbers, right?
The senior citizen, man, like they just
no, but like when I look at all these numbers,
boom.
No, but like when you look at all these numbers, right? Here's my problem. How many people are being killed by things like heart attacks? Let's say you have coronavirus. Yes, you do test positive. Any of us in here can have it. None of us have been tested. How many people are dying from things like, I don't know, a brain aneurysm, but you happen to have coronavirus and
maybe
they just
contracted it in the lobby.
You know what's the most fucked up thing?
I'm saying, I think like these numbers, like there's a lot of it that is being inflated just because people are
of course. The most fucked up thing what we just said is you can't get tested if you wanted to.
No, you
can't.
That's the most fucked up.
If you can't go get tested right now.
Man.
No. You can't go get tested right now.
No, you can't.
No, you cannot go get tested right now.
Unless you show symptoms. If I just show up like this, like fucking, swinging my arms.
How many negative tests that are coming back around that are positive, that are false negatives? They admitted it on the news yesterday. False negatives, bro.
Yeah, but they'll tell you. Look. Here's my thing is like
that's fucked up.
My problem is like I feel like a lot of this is being like is being inflated to crazy proportions because how many people are going? I want to know the exact numbers of people that went in the hospital with no pre-existing conditions with coronavirus and died.
Dude, did you see what's happening?
There's no record of any.
No.
It doesn't exist.
Like no pre-exist. Like we've heard of some babies that have, but even then, the people have.
Every single person who on record who has contracted this below the age of 50 also had a pre-existing condition.
Exactly.
There is not one person who is under the age of 50 who's gotten sick with this and died who didn't have some kind of pre-existing condition. And being over 50 is a fucking pre-existing condition. Your body was never meant to get past 45, 50. It's a whole new thing of just like deceleration and degeneration of your cells. Like all the people who get this, they were going to die in the next 2 years. Every single one of them. The next thing all these people got, that was going to be the thing to kill them.
Yeah, sadly, I mean.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
The great equalizer, as Madonna
that's what's going to happen at the end of this. The world is going to be younger, poorer, and cheaper.
Well, I don't know about cheaper.
It's going to be a whole lot cheaper, Patty, because like
where did
people are not making
Robbie
money.
Go? Robbie
Man.
drop out?
Yeah, Robbie's gone. He'll
I think he did.
Oh, okay. I tried to share my screen here for a second to show you guys something.
No, we saw.
We saw that.
Did it pop up? Okay,
thing,
okay. Yeah. That was like what I was bringing up here. That is wild.
What, 21 million cell phone users?
21 million users just
That's
disappeared.
probably more accurate to the actual death toll in China.
What do you mean?
In China, 21 million cell phone users their accounts just disappeared.
And in China, you have to have your cell phone registered with your actual name.
Disappeared. They're no longer on.
21 million people in China.
21 million people. And you have to have your cell phone registered to, like Paddy said,
your full legal name and your full citizen ID. There's no anonymity of that kind of thing in China. There's also no prepaid phone.
There's no like
services.
burners or no. Like you can't
even burner type phones. You have to activate them using your full legal name and your full citizen ID. It's totally different. It's the same thing with logging onto the internet. You literally can't go onto the internet without registering your full ID that includes their version of the SIN number. Yeah, of course. But this is similar in South Korea and like Singapore and a lot of places.
I
China's
think
a whole different place, man. It's a whole different world over there.
And this is what they said like initially too in the Contagion movie, where the one like U.S. military guy that they were first bringing it to, he was like, well, do we have any reason to believe that it was an attack? Like he immediately went to that even in the movie. And then they're like, because when you think about it,
I think it was an attack.
Dude, China, when you think about it, say even if they attack their own citizens to kind of like control their own population, because they had the Hong Kong protests, they had all of these things going on.
It was much more likely for that. If it wasn't,
it's probably meant for that.
Well, so you got like the way it works is you have two different strains of the virus. One that they research for like regular medical things, and then they have the second strain which they isolate and they take off to a military lab in order, which is the only one in China is in Wuhan. Then they start experimenting with that. And if you go on like the Wuhan Virology Institute website, there's pictures of Chinese guys handling bats with their bare hands.
I don't believe it came from a bat, man. I don't. I think that's just an image that they used. Because like they've been eating.
The viruses do come from
most of them have come from these wet markets.
Because these guys have been eating bats.
The wet market thing is bullshit. You're thinking of two different things. Okay, coronaviruses, which is like a very broad type of virus, it is derived from bats, but not recently. Like thousands of years ago, bats, if a bat bit you, you could get sick from a coronavirus. What they do is get coronaviruses from sick bats and then experiment with them and add on to them. So this thing's relationship to bats is like almost zero. It's like that's where they get the very original one that looks nothing like this one.
It's not the wet market soup thing that everybody was bullshit.
It's 100% bullshit. 134 kilometers away is the closest place you could possibly get bats. And why would you travel 134 kilometers away to sell something for like $18 a bowl in a fucking market?
I read something on, this could be complete bullshit, but I read something that the virus was actually made in Ottawa.
No,
Winnipeg, yeah, and it was like stolen and smuggled out.
Yeah. So there was a big deal in like 2014, somewhere around there.
Yeah, those Russian spies.
No, it was a Chinese woman. A Chinese woman who her and her husband were both like studying at a university in Winnipeg and also working for the Winnipeg lab. And over the course of 2 years, she allegedly stole like $1 billion worth of research and samples and things like that. And one of the main things they worked on in the Winnipeg lab, like 3 things: Super AIDS, Ebola, Corona. Those are like the 3 things. And there's very few labs anywhere in the world that have those
Super
things.
AIDS, man.
It's like just they developed a version of AIDS that's like resistant to traditional.
I just glanced by Super AIDS. He's like, Super AIDS?
Actually old. I think
just move on.
Super AIDS came out in like the late 90s.
Damn, dude.
I just saw.
This is definitely a setup because I don't think it just came naturally.
Of course
not.
It was
definitely
zero
government
chance of that
handled. Yeah. Whichever government fucking did this is gonna win this fucking war.
That's what I mean. It's like
seems all too.
At best, they accidentally let out the weapon, and then
I think it's fucking Vladimir Putin.
Look at the timing of everything. Even say if you take it purely from a standpoint of like say that there's people in China that want to, I don't know, not take over, but say attack at the very base level. Say go on that conspiracy theory here.
Attack who?
It doesn't matter, right? They're given target here. Let me just add him in here. If they, it seems like I said, all too perfect timing. Like you have the U.S. in political shambles because everyone is like either fighting with each other over political sides, and then they're just coming up to an election. Then you had their attack in Iran as well, taking out a leader there. And then you have the fact that at any point in China, they could just militarize their people and tell the rest of the world the virus is gone and advance further because they're willing to put their people's lives at risk.
Well, yeah, that's definitely like the second part of that is like not even up for debate. They knew they had it and they allowed their people to travel, which is why it spread to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
That's again, there's different level, like China's responsibility is like undeniable. It's just for how much responsibility do you want to give it to
I
them.
do believe that it's Russia. I think it's Russia that did it.
What?
Why?
That did what?
Why?
That did
why
what?
would they?
Because bro, like Vladimir's in the prime position right now to take over the world. Like think about it.
How?
Why? Because bro, he's got
economy.
he's got Trump in his fucking pocket, right?
All right.
Watching too much fucking news.
I'm
Nonsense. It's just nonsense.
Okay. I'm looking at the cases in Russia. Like Russia's actually got a pretty good handle on this.
Of course, but that's because they closed their borders and they limit
and
movement
they're
in the country.
next to China.
And
No, they're not. Again, that's. I understand on a map. It looks like
you know they're not next to China on a map, Paddy. What are you telling me right now?
It looks like that on a map, but they're not.
It looks like it on the map,
close.
but that is a incrossable amount of land.
Yeah, that is a lot.
There's more reason why he fucking pulled it off. He pulled it off, man. I'm telling you.
You know what, though? Here's another thing that you guys are not taking into consideration. Russia is pretty much a dictatorship. They will never release what the real numbers are of the people that are dying from coronavirus.
None of these places are.
Fucking way. Do you think Vladimir Putin is going to expose that kind of weakness? That's not.
No, they're putting out false
No.
numbers.
You guys are overthinking this. And, like, what does he need to hide from anybody? Why wouldn't he acknowledge that?
I think
it's
he
like,
is.
Why wouldn't he just
It would
like,
show his
by the way,
leadership.
we have this bad and we're getting attacked by – this is an American attack or a Chinese attack. Like, there's nothing for them to gain by hiding it. And especially if they actually need help, people would help them.
I think
They
that
just
because Trump is simply calling it the Chinese virus, it's definitely not Chinese.
No,
I can tell you that.
The only reason he
hold on.
had to call it the Chinese virus is because the retards who work in the fucking mainstream news thought that was going to be a way to like construe it as being racist, even though they, up until the moment he referred to it as the Chinese virus, called it the Chinese flu, the Wuhan flu, the Chinese coronavirus.
You had Nancy Pelosi saying, make sure you go to Chinatown. Like she was like.
No, Pat, but you asked a question. You're like, why would they hide it? I think it's not. It's actually more of an internal geopolitical problem because I don't think Russia is equipped in any way, shape, or form to be able to deal with a massive outbreak. Like most of these
Robbie,
countries
why are you hiding in the bathroom, bro? Let's talk about that. Oh no,
it's better lighting.
Let's talk about that real quick.
No, my laptop died, so I'm using my phone now.
You got the world map behind you, dog.
I got the world map, bro.
Tell me where Russia is on the map, bro.
Yo, fam, it's right here, fam. I'm always on the lookout for Big Brother, you know. But like just to answer Pat's question, like I think also like it would be a huge problem for Vladimir Putin if this thing broke out and in front of the because if the Russian people will lose major confidence in that aspect because
why does that matter in a dictatorship?
Yeah, no, but like no. There is as far as you can take things. You know what I mean? Like every dictatorship too, there's as far as you can pull the ban until it snaps. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
because
again,
their healthcare system is not equipped to be able to deal with.
What's your familiarity with the Russian healthcare system?
No,
I mean, that's just fucking silly. Listen, if you're talking about like the ability for them to like completely protect all like the small remote Russian villages, no, of course they can't protect them. They don't need to. It literally doesn't matter. I think you're confusing like China and Russia are actually similar into the regard of like they could kill all of their own people. No fucking backlash for them. They have that shit locked up fucking tight. They can put all of their people to the sword if they wanted to. There's just no reason like for Russia to lie about this. Like they're killing it. They're sending other people help. The biggest reason it hasn't hit them is because it's one of the most like racist, closed societies in the world. They don't let normal
like
people
Sweden.
like from Europe come in and out. Well, exactly. Like there's a bunch of countries that are doing fine.
And Sweden's not doing anything. They left schools open. They left everything.
Yeah, but Sweden's getting fucked.
No, they're not. They're not.
They are. No. I mean, not to the extent of like an Italy or, but they're in the top, like the top 10 of countries in Europe that are definitely getting hit.
But that's because there's only 14 countries in Western Europe that have this problem. Top 10 in Europe doesn't mean shit.
Sweden so far has confirmed 9,245 cases, 373.
There's 4 countries in Europe that have more deaths.
Yeah, they have 809 deaths.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Denmark.
But why would China benefit from doing this? Like, think who would benefit the most?
Because they could force their economy back to work before anyone else would be able to.
Because they have the dictatorship.
And they also don't have to pay the political cost of killing their own people. They can massacre millions of their own people. It has no recourse inside China.
Fuck Paddy with your science and your logic.
Yeah,
apparently.
down on them, and they don't care about outsiders. They see themselves as literally like.
Do you think this is China's doing?
Well, it depends. It's 2 different things. China either purposely did it, in which case it's an incredibly effective biological attack, or they accidentally did this and then covered it up to the point where it then became a very effective biological attack. Exactly.
It's Chernobyl.
How would it be an accident, though? Like, how would you accidentally deploy a virus like this?
Because they're just not as like the stereotype of like Asian intellectual superiority confuses a lot of people. Like their general IQ of the population is significantly lower than in average America or average Canada or average.
Goes down when you have a population of like 1 billion people.
And then also like
common denominators.
You can literally go on to Wuhan Virology Institute, the website, and see pictures of these fucking scientists handling corona infected bats with their bare hands. All it takes is one bat to bite that guy.
That's lunch, son. To them, see, you call it a bat, they call it lunch. You know what I'm saying? It's a different ballgame. You know what I mean?
They banned that, apparently. They banned all, like, you can't eat cats and dogs anymore. They banned that.
So on that subject, though, I wanted to kind of hear what you guys think about it. So there is this, like, this big brouhaha going on now about how the North American, I guess, leadership kind of played down the necessity for masks. How they're like, oh, save them for the healthcare professionals and so on and so forth. And countries like like Taiwan and I don't know where else where they implemented
Singapore
and
Japan.
And clearly there are numbers. Like apparently like in what's it? Is it Taiwan or Singapore where they have like 5 cases or something stupid like that?
Singapore has had a first really shallow wave, and now they're heading a second like really shallow wave where I think they have about 30 people who have it. But same thing with Taiwan. Taiwan is obviously like a disputed territory on the edge of China. So they have extraordinary immigration controls, and like the movement of the regular population is so restricted because they are worried about like Chinese people coming in there to sort of disrupt the country.
But they haven't. But they didn't lock down the country. And the one thing that they were saying,
they sort of have it permanently locked down on a relative basis. That's what I'm talking about. Russia, Taiwan, all these places. They don't have the sort of freedom of mobility that we have. Like, you literally cannot go from one Russian province to another without written permission, going through a major police checkpoint. And it's similar to Taiwan.
They still have 10,000 reported confirmed cases in Russia. 76 deaths.
Yeah,
probably the lowest amongst the deaths.
They're certainly undercounting it, but I don't think they are
undercounting deaths. But
I think there's some major undercounting going on because like it
has no benefit to them.
I don't.
Now is the time to appear strong though against other countries. Nobody's coming in and out of any other country. There's no more debate anymore over like foreign
borders.
Foreign or open borders. That debate is done. Now it's just like which country will survive the pandemic. That's the game that we're playing now. So there's no benefit other than like maybe posturing to lie about like your status, but like the truth will come out.
I do want to say, Canada's doing a pretty good job. Like they're fucking giving it all they got, right?
That was one thing I gotta show you. Do you remember the big thing with Huawei? How they banned that lady?
Yeah.
Now, Trudeau announced 2 days ago, Huawei is donating masks will not mean quid pro quo on 5G, Trudeau says.
Yeah, suck my dick.
He doesn't get to make that call. Trudeau's not the one who gets to make any decisions when it comes to fucking Meng Wanzhou. That's America's kidnapping victim.
Yeah, nah, that's not fucking happening. Is that, by the way, that Chinese lady, they released her though? Oh, like the...
No, she's on house arrest. Or do you mean the
one
here
in Canada? The Huawei executive.
CFO,
Vancouver.
Meng Wanzhou currently faces dozens of criminal charges in the U.S. for corporate espionage and fraud, and her company is donating masks. And Trudeau's like, "We'll take it."
Well, we'll take it, but this bitch is gonna have to stay here. But she's probably in some fancy fucking condo in Vancouver. Do you think this bitch is on the range right now?
She's in house arrest in a fucking mansion.
Yeah.
No, she's not on the range out here like fucking eating craft dinners and
she's got a view.
Drinking. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, that's it. But like, but to go back to the whole mask situation, like, how like have you guys Pat? Do you wear a mask every day when you go to work?
Fuck no.
Oh wow, Pat is a renegade.
Yeah, I don't wear a mask either. Yo, listen, the masks. I don't think the masks are doing any good, to be honest. Like,
all they do.
Well, you're young. We're all young.
Yeah, we're young.
Most of the masks don't even work, bro. I saw this one video of this nurse doing a test on masks that were produced in the States.
Oh yeah, they were doing the spray, the aerosol.
No, she puts the mask on, and she lights a lighter, and she tries to blow it out, right? And all the Chinese masks, they blow the light right out, but the American-made masks don't.
So what? Like they're more solid? Are you saying? Like they?
Yeah.
It depends
it's just
on what
literally
kind of
the difference between anything made in China and anything made in America.
Yeah, exactly.
The American shit's gonna be more expensive.
Trump tried to block the what's that M3?
3M.
Yeah.
3M.
He's just trying to save his ass.
But
he doesn't give a fuck.
On that note, the fucking store downstairs is selling fucking $15 masks, N95s. One mask for $15.
Actual N95 is surgical mask.
An actual N95 mask.
Like what? The little blue ones, or the actual white ones, like the ones that actually cover.
The white ones. The white ones.
Yeah, those I'll pay $15 for. I'll pay $15 for N95.
What the fuck?
No. Listen, there is some Chinese store. There is some Chinese fucking store across from my building. Same exact thing. Where they're selling those surgical ones, those little blue ones, for $17 a mask.
You tell me you're not gonna rat on those guys?
Bruh, like, yo, listen.
Come on, Robbie, you're a father
Right now, my ratting is that I'm literally sitting on my balcony with a fresh cup of coffee and just calling the government on congregating whites. Only the congregating whites.
I'm fucking ratting on everybody. I don't give a fuck.
He's letting full Indian families come into the park, and he's like, I don't see anything.
I don't see anything wrong right now, goddammit. You know what I mean? But congregating whites, I'm calling. Barbecue ain't got shit on me, son. Huh?
It's all about being responsible, man. You gotta fucking do your part.
Here's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about a second wave.
That's gonna be fun. I'm not going back in quarantine a second time. If you release me one time.
I'm not personally worried about it. I'm worried like, oh shit, I'm probably not gonna ever get to see my grandfather again.
They're literally never gonna let us out for more than a year or two at a time. Tops.
It's gonna be a seasonal thing though. They're just like, October's rolling around, shut her down. Everybody back inside. You're protesting? You're mass protesting? Virus is back, guys. Everybody back in their houses.
Everybody back to bed.
Good way to control the masses.
I bet you Fadi will be happy as fuck. It's like, yes, I've never made as much money as I did from this bed, goddamn.
Everyone's getting all excited for lockdown time. They just go, right back inside.
Dude, I needed a break.
Dog, when I initially got you were there with me, Robbie, when I got the email from Good.
That email, yeah, you were happy as fuck. Yo, this guy was
I was turning the fuck up. But then 3 days later, I realized I'm not going back to work anytime soon. And
you thought it was 2 weeks, like 2 weeks off. I'm paid. This guy's
you thought
eating chocolate. guys eating chocolate and driving, laughing at me.
Yeah. Fucking eating chocolate. We just did this. We did a set at the Underground, right?
Yeah.
This is my last set, the live set I've ever done at the Underground.
Yeah.
And then I get the email the minute I get off stage. I get the email from Good Life saying we're closing down. That's it.
This guy almost hugged me, bro. He's like, yo,
buddy,
bro.
I was like, 2 weeks vacation, 2 weeks off. Fucking partied my ass off. And then next thing you know, I'm like, oh shit, I'm actually not going back to work. This is not good.
But you said, Good Life is still taking care of you, though. So you're fucking good to go. Like, I thought you
but that's it. They got, one more paycheck and then that's it.
Then niggas got to figure it out, yeah.
Are they going to open up again? Is that a thing?
Here's another question for you guys. Let's say this thing comes to it. Like, do you guys think it's going to be like a one shot, okay, everybody can go out now? Or is it going to be like some kind of systemic release?
It's going to be in waves.
People how
they're going to start testing.
Down.
They'll test people for the antibodies, and the only people who are allowed to go back are people who are like 50 and under who have the antibodies, and then everybody else, like, fuck, you're fucked.
In the movie Contagion, the way that they return back is everyone wears a bracelet now, and the bracelet has a barcode on it that says, like, this is my personal barcode, I've been tested, I am clear of it, and they scan it when they come in and out of buildings to make sure.
We'll all be shipped.
And that's it.
Holy fuck, bro! Oh my god!
Yeah, no, this is not gonna be a quick ending, dog. Like, this is definitely gonna come in waves.
Government needed to get smaller, and it just got bigger.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is fun.
And just so you guys know, like the projected timeline that the government is working with is spring 2021. That's the projected timeline that they're talking about. Spring 2021.
That should be the release of a Marvel film.
That's the projected timeline at the end of
society.
That's when things should go. Like what? That's when people should be released.
I'm literally watching it as we speak.
Spring 2021 is when quarantine should end, or is this when, like, they're saying that?
They're probably saying it'll be all over by then, or have a vaccine or some kind of like major.
That beats fucking vaccine. Easter there, Paddy. Fucking Trump talking about Easter. Come on, dog.
Yo, that man is insane, though. Talking about
Trump's on the news talking about Easter.
Did you see him say where he thought the guy said Mexican violence?
Oh yeah,
that was so funny.
What is it?
Come on, man.
There was an interviewer, and he said, Trump, do you think that with the coronavirus, everyone in lockdown, there's going to be a rise in domestic violence? He goes, did you say Mexican violence? And he's like, no, domestic violence. He goes,
Yo, have you guys seen him, like,
he looks so upset.
Have you guys seen how he's, like, losing it on reporters, though, nowadays?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a nasty question.
Yeah.
That's a nasty question.
The best was when the reporter asked him, he's like, what would you say to the American people that are scared right now? I would say you're a pretty bad reporter, man. I would say you're a horrible reporter.
No, the craziest was when he talked about his ratings on Twitter. He was like, our coronavirus briefs have had the highest ratings of television history.
Yeah, everybody's home, bro. Like, what? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, because we all want to know what's happening.
But, like, you know what? People were saying...
I think fucking Vladimir Putin did this. Because he's got Trump, like, in his fucking pocket.
No, bro.
No. But, like, but I don't think, like, a lot of people when Trump got elected were worried about that. Oh, what if we get another 9/11? What is going to happen? Bro, I would rather 3 9/11s right now than him being at the helm of this shit. Like, this shit is fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like, the man is a lunatic.
He should just be referring to his team on every question. Instead, he's just attacking reporters, and it's like,
bro, like
they're trying desperately to make this his 9/11, or make it his Katrina, but it's more like 9/11. The fact is, people don't fucking agree with the media. If you watch the media and you think that normal people are with him, his fucking approval rating is up. It's not because they're watching CNN and going, yes, correct. They're watching CNN and going, up. That's them fucking around again.
But Patty, that's a huge generalization. Some people are watching Fox News. Some people are watching CNN. Like, I thought that this would be the one thing maybe that may bring people to their senses, to still filter things through some kind of, like, fucking layers of being subjective. But again, we're still all dug in
I thought it was going to be an end of talking about politics.
Yeah, the best was the fucking one news conference that they did when he asked the reporter. He goes, "Do you see all these chairs? These chairs used to be full of reporters, and now all these chairs are empty, right?
That rant.
Is there a time we get all these reporters?" I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, man? The world's about to fucking end.
That was
do something.
The lady was next to him, right? Like the medical expert, and he was like, "Now, can I ask you a question? This used to be filled with awful people, terrible reporters." Like, do you think they'll ever get a chance to stand
now? They
there
really
again?
don't like me.
Like he's just digging into
it. This is fucked. This is a joke, man. Like the guy's not taking this shit seriously.
Did you guys watch Quiet WrestleMania?
Quiet WrestleMania?
Oh my god.
They did WrestleMania.
Buddy, I watched WrestleMania. I watched WrestleMania.
No audience.
And I gotta tell you, man, Undertaker and AJ Styles, that was a good match. The rest,
it was like a bad movie.
It was really bad.
Yeah, it was. Like I like the American Badass came back. Like that's pretty cool. Did you guys know about UFC trying to secure an island?
Yeah.
The UFC trying to secure a fucking island. And today, like 4 hours ago, they announced that they're canceling all their events moving forward indefinitely because they gave up. They can't fly people out. They can't fly people in.
That's the press story. That's the story.
No, but hold on. Let's go back to WrestleMania here for a second.
Like Dana White talking about an island.
No, but Dana White talks a lot of shit. Like an island. What the fuck are you gonna do on an island? Like do that shit in a regular.
That's fucking. That's like fucking Mortal Kombat. Like straight out of the fucking video game.
It's Epstein's Island. It was on sale.
Yeah, Epstein is gonna let him. Like, he's probably got a good deal on Epstein's Island.
With St. James. It's for sale.
It's for sale.
But they must have not been able to get it because they canceled everything today.
You know?
Yeah.
I think they're just not telling people what they're actually gonna do.
With WrestleMania though, like these guys were like wrestling each other, like fucking hitting each other. Like
all you hear is like the.
But how do they justify not socially distancing? Like I don't understand. There's a
they
lot.
must get tested.
No, they didn't address it at all. They just wrestled, bro.
Groups of 5 or less.
They just wrestled. Man.
Just one-on-one.
Yeah, they did it. They didn't.
No, but are you allowed to do that though? Like if you don't.
Groups of 5 or less.
No, but I thought they cut that shit down. Like, if you don't live together, you can be seen. Like,
that's
whatever.
Toronto. That's literally
just
Toronto.
certain areas. Yeah,
they're out in.
They are in like Connecticut and Florida, and then I don't know where the other performance centers. They don't have the same rules.
Yeah. The thing with this too is they're probably realizing that they could just do this from everywhere.
Yeah.
They could just satellite send in videos that they recorded of a fight happening, and then some guy in a producer studio just puts it all together into a show. They don't even need to travel together or be in the same city together.
I'm not gonna lie to you though, man. Like honestly, like every other like Friday or so, man. I'm like the boys link up. Man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I've been like, I gotta do better on this whole social distancing fucking shit. But like like on the weekend, man, just start kicking it. Like it's not like huge parties like it used to be at. But like sometimes guys will link up and like have a couple beers together and shit. Like I can see myself like, huh? Sorry, what'd you say?
Robbie just got. No one said anything. You just got.
No,
people will say.
People are about to get ratted on, Robbie. How many people are coming together?
Listen to these guys. It's like, yo, I heard that the government is gonna start giving out a price still. You know what I mean? Once they start giving out money, then I'll start handing out addresses. But like, I don't know, man. Like,
just see that.
I don't know.
The minute that price comes in, because they're doing it in New York already.
They're actually.
I think even near. Yeah, they're doing rewards for turning in businesses and stuff.
Oh, okay, for turning in businesses and shit. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like it's just at the end of the day, man. It's just fuck it. I feel like eventually it's gonna come a point where people are gonna be like, enough is enough. Fuck this.
Of course.
If these old motherfuckers are gonna die, let them die. We don't give a fuck.
Dude, they should have done from the start.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know who looks at the projections of deaths that they all put out recently and doesn't go like, 4,000 people in Ontario. It's got 15 million people. 250,000 people in America. 330 million people there. How the fuck is what the government's doing not going to end up worse? How?
Yeah.
Who thinks
completely
that number
stopping
of
the
deaths
global economy
justifies this? You have to just be out of your fucking mind to think really this is not a huge overstep at this point.
Such a mistake.
Oh yeah, it's a massive overreach, but it's a massive because they have no fucking idea what they're doing. This should have been something that you planned for. Like I was watching this video of Obama and like after H1N1, that was the warning. Like swine flu should have killed a lot more people than it did. See, at that point, if you didn't learn your lesson, like fucking guys like Trump come in and this.
So many. Ebola.
No, it's the opposite. Again, it's like it's so weird how people think because of like you look H1N1 did not kill that many people, so therefore prepare for something that
way worse.
Yes, it's not worse. It's not even bad. It's literally slightly worse than a bad flu season. How is the prescription to what happened with H1N1 is to it's not listen, it doesn't kill at a high rate, let's say for example something like the Spanish flu, but the rate at which it's transmissible, because it's not just about the number of people that it killed, right? Yes,
like
it
Ebola,
is.
for example. No, like look.
The only thing that matters is the death rate, especially when 90% of the people who have it are asymptomatic.
Yes, but here's the problem though. When it can be so easily spread, when you have an air pathogen, it spreads a lot faster, and a lot of people are eventually gonna end up dying because of it. You know what I mean? Because if you yes, of course,
you're 100% wrong. The death rate at its worst was like 1.2%. Now it's 0.04%. This is a fucking hoax. You are literally pretending that something is happening that isn't happening.
All they had to do was say, if you were experiencing symptoms, stay home for a quarantine.
Everyone's 50 and over.
Nobody's going to give
everyone 50 and over. So everyone retired. No more visiting the old folks home. Everyone 50 and over. Don't go out.
John is just trying to be like, we're going to do some population control. Get it over with.
This is a pretty fucking weak.
No, don't sweep them under the rug. Don't sweep them under the rug. Just stop their interactions.
There are a couple of cases of people that are under 30 that are fucking dying. There's a girl in France.
Because they had bad respiratory immune systems.
Yeah, they already have
like Paddy said earlier, this is just the thing that set it off. It was going to be something else.
Yeah, like all the young people who are getting sick from this, they have conditions, and this is not pulling it out of my ass. All the old people, all the sick young people, in the next 2 years, every single one of them was going to die.
Yeah.
It's a reckoning of people that made poor decisions.
And also just like the overbreeding in general, you're going to produce more people who have weak immune systems and faulty genetics.
But also here's another thing that you're not taking into consideration, Pat, is also the toll that this kind of things has on the healthcare system. Because if you have that many people all at once converging onto emergency rooms, that's going to create some problems. The hospitals are not going to be like, oh, yeah, you were going to die in 2 years anyway, so fuck off and go die in the corner over there. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. You haven't been watching the news then, Robbie, because that's exactly what they do. They literally tell old people, sorry, not enough ventilators. You're going to die. That's exactly what happens in both here, Italy.
Dude, that's what triage is. Right. That's where triage comes from. Triage is the steps that nurses go through in an ICU to determine whether or not a patient is worth saving.
But see, it's easy for us to be able to save from this position, but when it's your grandmother that's being told to go fuck off and go die in the corner over
that's where the mobs come.
A different point of view about it. You know what I mean? So like for me, for example, like my mom is a nurse, right? And fucking, she's going home to my dad who is, the guy's diabetic, has high blood pressure and shit. Like, it's fucking Russian.
Dude, I'm worried about my brother. My brother has had nothing but health issues. He is diabetic, and he's a truck driver. He's constantly on the road going.
Right.
And then he's coming home to my parents who are also, like, have immune issues. My mom is a nurse as well. It's just like, that's a bad, they should be separated.
Yeah, like my mom was supposed to come down for the birth of my son, and they told her, they're like, no, you can't take off work now. And like, it's all hands on fucking deck.
Well, yeah.
And that shit about like personal protective equipment, that shit is true, man. She's telling me like, yo, they're having to like use the same mask for like a whole day. Like, so if you're lucky to even get a fucking mask. Jeez. And then she's going home to my dad. And of course, like, you know, we are here talking to you about when that shit hits close to home, that conversation is fucking different now. You looking at this
it changes everything, Robbie. That's exactly what it is.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And like they already had the first recorded death of a healthcare worker. I think it was yesterday or today.
Was it? They've been dying.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
that's in Brampton.
No,
the first one is
first
Brampton.
recorded death.
The thing is, though, is it
COVID.
isn't like it's not like it hits close to home because your granny might die from this. Like the question that we have to ask ourselves when we come out of this is, did they make the right decisions in shutting down the entire economy?
Oh yeah, a lot of shit is gonna be way worse. Like
I think they did. I think they did, man.
Not to this extent.
My dad called me today on some real shit. My dad called me today, and tomorrow's Good Friday, right?
Yeah.
He wants to get together and have a dinner. We've had this tradition in our family every year. And I had to tell him no. I'm like, you're staying the fuck home, pops. Like, my dad's got all kinds of conditions.
Well,
like,
yeah,
you are not.
That's a good decision.
You should look out for him. It's not everybody else's responsibility to fucking
and I called my little brother.
Save a couple thousand old people.
I don't give a fuck about
my buddy that I went to all through like public school and high school with is with the Canadian military.
You're right in a way, but if we don't contain it, if we don't stop it and contain it, it's gonna get worse.
But how is this? This is.
You're only saying that because a bunch of very retarded, incompetent people who allowed it to get here are now somehow not wrong this time, and now we should just implicitly do what these fucking morons
to a certain extent, like, because these are the same people that were telling us that masks ain't shit, that we don't need masks.
Theresa Tam, it literally in a 12-hour period said the only people talking about a flight ban to China are racist. 12 hours later, she said it's a prudent next step. They are fucking morons. They know less about public policy and virology than the average person.
And that is what worries me. That is what worries me about this whole quarantine situation, because if you have even no fucking idea of what to do about masks, when are you going to know that it's time to let people out?
You don't.
You know what I mean?
Like, they don't understand what putting people inside is going to do. They have zero idea. None of these people who you imagine to be of like this woman or these people in charge, they must have spent their lives working on this shit. Not even close. The people who are in charge of this aren't pandemic experts. They're not virus experts. They're not public policy experts. They don't know anything about anything to do with this. Nothing. Theresa Tam is a Chinese doctor. That's her qualification.
Wow. Racist daughter to the rescue.
No,
literally, it's white liberals' racism is the reason this is bad. Italy didn't close its borders because they thought it'd be racist to China. We didn't close our borders because we thought it'd be racist to Chinese people. We fucking sent a bunch of PPE to a bunch of these fucking goddamn slanty-eyed fucking poison spreading bastards, and then they send it back, and it's all fucking
they're
dirty
people,
now.
Patty. They're humans, man.
No.
He just wants some personal responsibility. That's all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't.
Patty doesn't give a fuck. He just called them poison spreaders, man.
Yeah, why would I care about the red Chinese? They have no care for us.
How many viruses have come out of there?
All of them.
They don't give a fuck about us.
The Spanish flu is not from Spain. Spain made the fucking terrible decision of actually acknowledging that they had a problem. It came from China.
But here's a question for you guys. So should we, like, as a result of this, do you think there is going to be some sort of reevaluation of the political electoral system, where instead of having this big popularity contest where you have like the best looking guy, the best debating guy becoming president or becoming prime minister, now people are actually going to require people to have X amount of like
the opposite.
You think we're going the opposite?
You guys have to see what I just found.
Listen how people are reacting. They are not turning on the politicians. They're turning on each other and calling 311 because there's 4 people standing next to each other in the park.
Okay, this is from the World Health Organization.
No. Okay, first of all,
hold on. This is from the WHO, which.
Oh, you mean that corrupt Chinese organization?
Just look at the list of like their.
No one is more responsible for this than the WHO and the Red Chinese CCP.
All I did was search what viruses have come out of China, and it led me to this link starting at early 2000 with polio. And then they've got every H5N1 acute respiratory syndrome.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It goes all SARS forever.
Of
SARS
course.
for multiple years. Situation in Taiwan, more SARS.
Yeah, that again, Taiwan is getting biologically attacked by the Chinese.
H7N9, just constant all through 2014. This is stuff we never even heard about. H7N9.
Every single fucking virus.
Every virus you've never even heard about.
This is the only good thing that might come out of this is it will stop people from investing so much in Chinese manufacturing because we literally can't afford to have these.
It was already immoral. It was already immoral.
No, but like, and do what though? What is the option here? Let's say like, do you want to buy $5,000 iPhones?
I can afford that. Yes, I can afford that. It's everyone else's problem. It's all
okay. But Pat, but like let's speak. No. Let's speak. Let's
You're savage.
You know what I mean? Let's actually seriously look at this. Like, what is the option? There is no breaking off of China. It's not happening because
the Chinese are not going to give a shit. I don't think people really understand it. Like, the Chinese middle class is huge. They could buy their own cheap plastic shit. We are not going to be able to sell them fucking dead anymore. Like, I don't think people understand, like, the world you thought existed never did, and now it's definitely not coming back.
What do they call it? They call it the Great Nap.
Yeah.
It was the Great Nap. We were asleep for a long time.
This is going to restructure the world as we know it, man.
Yeah, dude.
And it's happening right in front of our eyes. So
I couldn't believe they stopped. I couldn't believe they stopped doing trade with China after they saw those nests around the building at like an Apple building in China. You know what I mean? There's been moral implications of why they shouldn't be doing deals out of there for decades.
But Americans are so poor; they need that cheap shit.
But we all need the cheap shit. I don't want to buy a $5,000 goddamn fucking iPhone. If it takes us some little Chinese kid to jump out of the window, then hey, listen. It will happen from time to time. I'm sure Paddy and I will be fine about this point. You know what I mean? Like, it just like
how about we just keep everything we already have and just not advance anything any further?
How long is it gonna last? It's made in China. You need new one.
This isn't made in China.
No, listen, my laptop just died right now. I need the Chinese to let me know what I'm gonna have to do.
Get some guns. Settle down, boy. Shit's about to get real.
The guns are made in China too. So like if the Chinese go over
that's the only one. That's the only thing that America still makes.
Yeah, that's the one thing they make really well.
Best of the best when it comes to that. When it comes to weapons, you don't want to buy that from China.
Yeah, most guns are still made in like America, Belgium, and Austria.
And like Russia.
Smith & Wesson has fucking factories all over China. What are you guys talking about? Look it up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they sell guns there. But
you want to buy that? You want to buy that American-made shit?
Yeah, no. Listen, it's American design.
Out on this one, Robbie.
It's American design, but don't get this shit twisted. They assemble that shit in fucking China.
There's certainly like big gun companies do that, but the majority of firearms in America were manufactured.
Yeah, but those ones too are really fucking expensive too. The ones that are manufactured by.
Same thing with like guns from Germany and Austria, like Glocks, like real Glocks, where it says "made in Austria" on the side. Like they are not cheap for sure, but still, like China does not.
Made them. Anything made by white folks is expensive. Anytime like have you ever seen like how cheap or what it is to buy a Casio?
It's gonna say that on the side of the gun, made by white people.
And
made by white people in Texas.
John.
You know what I mean?
No.
When you picture like a Swiss watch, right? You picture this old white guy, you know, by candlelight, like fucking putting this shit together. That's why they cost $60,000 a pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These little Chinese
took a long time.
They be making that shit real quick, you know. So,
look, all I know is these motherfuckers need to stop eating bats because that shit's disgusting, bro. Straight up.
That shit is wild.
That shit is fucking nasty. You know, all these videos of people eating fucking like frogs and like squid. Like, what the fuck?
Most of those things are not even like old tradition things. A lot of it is literally like from the 60s and like periods of starvation where they started eating weird animals. It's not really this bullshit like.
And then what? Then they became a delicacy or something? Like after a while, like.
It is a
delicacy. It's not. It's not a delicacy. It's a thing that like poor stupid people do in the country. Like
when white people make banana bread.
Yeah.
Guys, the delicacy for Chinese is called bird's nest. It's it's like this. It's like bird puke or like bird shit or something like that. Like this specific type of bird that they have.
Probably.
Yeah, something like
exactly.
that.
But
yeah,
that happens
embryo,
everywhere.
some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they smuggle that shit in. Yeah, they smuggle that shit in all over the world, and it's like it's expensive. It's like fucking $2,000 a pound. Some stupid fucking amount of money. It's crazy.
I think at this point, as a society, we should seriously consider reintroducing the word Chinaman into the vernacular.
That's all. I call every fucking person a Chinaman. Every Asian, I call it
every person.
You know what I mean? It's goddamn Chinaman. You know
No, but the Chinese knew this was coming because I worked in Markham and they knew. They knew it was coming.
Yeah. Dude, I was saying earlier, my buddy who works in the Canadian military, he's like pretty high up, like he's an instructor there too. He was saying that they have this annual event in Vancouver every year. It's like all of the military comes to there for this event. And it's like the first time in history that it's ever been canceled. And then on top of that, he was like, I wouldn't trust very many things coming out of China. He's like, they've given us like good information on a lot of stuff. He's like, but the Canadian military is like, I don't know. We're not.
They got the military all up and running.
The military, they said is the best thing. The best thing right now is, like for the Canadian military, this break was the best thing because now they can look at the rest of their operations and actually focus on everything else that they're doing.
What the fuck were they doing before?
No, because they
running fucking air
full-time
support for ISIS in Syria.
Yeah.
No, they offered full-time positions to all the reservers.
a lot of people went back.
They've got them. The military's up and running, man. They got them all.
He
stationed at the.
He said, "If I lose my job, you better get scared." That's what he said.
What if this is a plot and World War III is about to happen? It's just a way to have the army being the only place that is hiring, and then it's just a way to be able to with like a draft, but not really a draft.
The next World War is not going to be between countries. The next World War is not going to be between countries. It's going to be against like what they're positioning for now, which is the one world government kind of shit. They're going to have a lot of people's governments versus a lot of people's just like civilian population.
Didn't the EU
That's what's
just break
coming.
up?
No. The EU didn't break up. It's effectively been broken up because of the coronavirus. But like the Brexit is like the only breaking up.
Okay. And but Boris Johnson is sick, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
France is going to collapse out. Same thing with Spain and Italy. They'll collapse out. Like France, as soon as things go back to normal in France, they're going to have yellow vests stopping all the trains and highways again. Like France's economy was already obliterated by the yellow vests. Like they had already essentially been dealing with what we're dealing with now, which is like the stoppage of almost
of their economy.
Most businesses. And so as soon as they get back out, like people here will be desperate to get back to work. They've already been desperate for like 30% of the population is already unemployed. Like they are not thinking they're going back to work. They're thinking they're going back to protesting and overthrowing the Macron.
I saw the video that Anonymous put out. They talked about a lot what you just said right now, Paddy. But the world government, one world government, all that shit coming together.
That's the first thing they brought up. That like, the real problem is that we don't have any global standards for this, and there's no global
Ronald
rule.
Reagan talked about this. Like I
everybody talked
about
this.
Have you watched the Johnny Rogers show, that podcast?
Johnny Rogers show.
I played a clip. I played a clip of Ronald Reagan from back in the day. He was talking about in terms of like an alien threat, but he was saying all it would take is some outer worldly threat to bring all of us together and unify under one cause.
If aliens are taking over, it's gonna be in like April or May.
This is the alien.
This is the year of shit.
Daddy, this is the alien. It's here.
2020.
It's here.
Yeah, I think Kobe knew something, and he took his favorite daughter with him. It's like
his favorite with him.
Robbie, what the fuck?
Speaking of that, I gotta find that. I found this video and
Did you hear about how they painted over the mural that they had for him? They painted it over with the thing that says "Stay Home."
Really?
Did it really?
Did you see that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they had it in LA. They had a big wall when they drew a picture of Kobe and his daughter, and then they painted the whole wall red and wrote "Stay Home."
Yo.
Yep.
Was it like
nobody said shit?
Of course, bro. Kobe dead. He ain't got to worry about none of that shit.
People drop all their kind of weird horseshit about that. Like, literally the only sort of dumb people who kind of stuck their heads up over some, like, dumb shit issue like that is actually trannies who were, like, complaining about their surgeries getting canceled, and people
can't get my pussy.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, bitch. Go back and jerk off, right?
That's one of the best silver linings of this is, like, anyone who brings up, like, horse shit like that and, like, you misgendered me. Shut the fuck up. No one got time for that shit.
No one cares about that right now.
I don't know how long I have to keep this dick. I don't want
it fucking anymore, bad, yo. Like, if you didn't want to have a dick, then, you know, it's the wrong time for you, girl.
Yeah, shit. You got bigger fish to fry.
Yo, like, you know what's so crazy, though? Like, when my lady, when we're having the baby, we actually, like, discussed the possibility of a fucking home birth. Because we're like, yo, we don't want to fucking go to the fucking hospital.
Yeah, oh, yeah, for real.
Fucking crazy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but like I don't want my baby to be born in a tub like a fucking toilet.
Yo, think about how many abortions got canceled. Think about that.
Oh my God, do that shit all the time.
Huh?
Yo,
think about how many abortions got postponed.
Have you guys ever heard of this show called The Legends of Chamberlain Heights?
No.
Okay, so I had to do this video called Top 10 TV Shows That Predicted the Future and Got It Right. This show came out on Comedy Central. It was a cartoon show in November 16th of 2016. And there's an episode where they predicted Kobe Bryant's death via helicopter crash.
No way.
Not even kidding.
Yeah, and
also on some Simpson tip or something like that. Like
similar, yeah. Because there's literally a cartoon of Kobe dying in a helicopter crash, and people try to save him, but he won't pass the ball or something like that.
He won't pass his trophies.
He won't pass his trophies. That's what
he's got the trophies with him. Oh shit! Oh
wow!
No!
Isn't that insane? That his ring.
No! My God.
Yeah, so those were like little interstitials that they used to run on like much in between other shows.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was the first joke too.
Kind of thing, yeah.
You remember how everyone was like, so many comedians came out and they pretended that they were like this cutting edge with their jokes of being like, well, he never passed before or whatever those like hack movie jokes were. That was done on the show. That was literally done on the show.
Oh, exactly.
He said he never passed before.
It's an old joke.
Old joke.
One thing I'll tell you guys though, I swear to God, once this comedy shit starts again, you're not allowed to be trash. Nobody's allowed to be trash anymore, bro. You have 6 months to write shit.
Yo, by the way,
this is cold all like the people who have one toe in the pot.
By the way, just so you guys know what's going on with Six Figures. Six Figures is still gonna happen. It's still gonna happen. Once we're back up and running, once we figure out what's going on with the venue, we'll get a date. We'll get it back together. We still gonna keep that show off.
The question is, are we doing it like? Because I don't know if, like, how long is it going to take before you guys can comfortably go to the club? You know what I mean? Like,
honestly,
like
bro,
first day of release,
it's probably going to be, like, early next year, man. I don't know.
Like, first day of release, are you going to be comfortable being like, yo, fuck it, I'm going to go out
there? Of course.
Apparently a lot of
healthy should be.
Comedy clubs have an interest in staying open as well to make money, so they're gonna find ways to make it like cleaner and healthier. It's the bar shows and open mics you're gonna want to stay away from.
Those won't be able to run because you won't have the people to do them anymore. All those people won't be able to make the choice of working like a minimum wage job and then doing comedy at night. They're gonna have to have 2, 3, 4 minimum wage jobs. Like that kind of shit is not coming back. This idea of like anyone who's not hardcore, like when it comes to like pursuing your dream type shit, like no, only legit hardcore people. Like even people who are shit are gonna be the hardest working pieces of shit when it comes to it. Like Robbie, like you were saying, like all the garbage people, like literally the only people who can afford to be bad at it are the people who are like they're shit, but they work so
super hard.
That just like makes up for it. That they're like, well, he's not good at comedy, but he books 90 different shows in the city.
Right.
Those
Not
are the
even
people who will
that.
make it.
I know some people that are like comedians and they produce shows and they're like super successful at producing shows. You know
Well, those are the only people who will make it. If you produce a shitty show and then you do shitty comedy, guess what? That motherfucker is going to be delivering.
Nobody's going to catch Corona to stick around and watch that.
How long do you guys think it's going to take until like a motherfucker can no longer tell a coronavirus joke on stage? You're like, dude, fuck, that was so.
As soon as it gets out of the news cycle, I think
it'll get old in clubs quick because everyone is going to come back and spend like the first 2 or 3 weeks doing it. Then it's going to just be like, man, it's all we heard during the pandemic is people making shitty Corona puns.
Yeah.
Hopefully it blows over quick. I hope it's not like 9/11.
I got a nice little 25 minutes on Corona that I can definitely, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how I'm gonna.
I'm sure everyone will.
I'm gonna have to like move those jokes around and see where else they can.
I'm just trying to find my opinion on it.
Just get in there quick, burn it off, and then start turning over to new stuff.
I think though, like if we try to do 6 figures, like not too long after this shit, I think it will pop off because people are gonna want to go somewhere.
People are gonna want to go out, man. I'm telling you, bro.
Something, you know what I mean? Like motherfuckers.
You know what's fucked? You guys don't even know. I had to refund like 20 tickets. You guys don't even know about that. I had so many tickets sold out.
Why did you not just honor them when the show was gonna be?
Because Eventbrite sent out a message saying like, look, we don't know really what's gonna happen. Like your best option is to refund right now, and just wait it out. You know. And like these people will buy back the tickets, like they're coming regardless.
People will be excited to get back out and attend.
I think we should. Yeah, I think we should
wrap
do it
this up,
right away after. Yeah. I think we should do it right away, right after the.
Yeah. As soon as the theater is back in business, we'll get another date.
People are desperate to blow off some steam and have like we made it type of party.
Spend that CERB money.
Oh man,
it's gonna be like a fuck Corona. We are back in business, baby. It's gonna be a good one.
You should call up Corona. You should call up Corona and get a sponsorship for the show. Call it the post-Corona.
They might literally not exist.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah.
Their business got fucking destroyed.
They got tanked.
Really? Huh?
Oh yeah,
sadly.
They literally lost like $400 million. And it was a company that
they did. They did. I saw that, Fadi.
Being like,
no, because fucking Americans are stupid. Okay?
Funny people.
Oh, dude, most Americans think that chocolate milk.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Dude, most Americans think chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Exactly.
Yep. Exactly.
Like that's who you're dealing with.
On that note.
Yeah, let's end it up.
Yeah, let's call it a night, boys. That was a good one.
Yes.
Fucking miss you guys, man.
I hope this recording is good.
Same time next week.
Yeah, exactly.
If I have days off, we're on quarantine, man. So anytime you guys let us know.
I'm paying for this Zoom, so we might as well use it.
Man.
All right.
All right, boys.
Peace, guys.
Fatty, good seeing you, brother. Robbie.
Good seeing you.
Johnny, you guys are the fucking best.
Johnny, Fatty, Robbie, good seeing you guys.
Take care, guys.
Una mattina mi sono svegliato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono svegliato e ho trovato l'invasor. Oh partigiano, portami via, oh bella ciao, bella ciao.